On today's edition of Cosmo Times,
it's time to check out the latest technology in our Cosmo cities.
From the Museum of Moving Image in New York City,
to the Technology, Art, Fashion, Food Expo in Los Angeles.
And we will talk to the CEO of Razer in Shanghai. Welcome to this week's techie episode of Cosmo Times.
Did you just say technology?
Yes, I did.
Dude, I love technology.
Oh, great. Moving on.
You know what's kind of cool about that is we're the last generation to know what life was like before the internet.
Sounds about right. But what's your point?
Nothing, Mency. But you know what I would like to know is...
what kind of technology of the future do you wish you had now?
There's so many different inventions in our modern world, but what should be added? I'm hitting the streets to find out.
As a traveler, I think it'd be really cool just to have international service, a phone that could be used internationally, so I don't have to check Facebook to see if my friends are contacting me from Europe or whatever.
Probably international calling. Yeah, so you could call anyone, anytime, from any place.
Flying cars because I hate traffic and I actually like flying on planes, so it would just be a nice way to put it all together.
And why do you think that would just make our lives easier?
I just know that on the ground there's so much traffic and it's so hard to get places, it might just be easier to fly.
Flying cars, especially in this city, you could get so many places so quickly. And driving on the streets here is kind of crazy and scary, so flying cars would be great.
You go to a store, you don't have to wait in line, you pick up whatever you want, and then you just walk out and it scans your credit card, just like that. That would be cool. I hate waiting in line. One, it saves time, and two, you don't have to worry about waiting in line and changing your mind. It's good for the consumer, it's good for the business.
I haven't the vaguest idea of what I'm barely keeping up what's been created so far. So no more high-tech inventions.
Flying cars, so that I don't have to wait when it's red light or a lot of traffic.
People here in New York City would like to see the technology hitting the streets or the sky. They'd love to see flying cars. They would also like to experience international calling and texting. Now, as for me, I think international cars would be super cool. I'd love to see the design. Reporting from New York, I'm Christy Clemens.
We already have smart glasses, smart watches and smart phones. We've got so much technology already, but what other future tech do people here in Melbourne want right now? Let's go and find out.
Oh, that's a really hard question. Teleportation, that'd be sick.
Oh, wow. Probably to see into the future.
I'd like a hoverboard, that would be pretty cool. Teleportation. Yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, it just means you can be I could be in America right now, in a second.
Ooh, teleportation. Yeah, I don't even have to think about that one too hard. You know when you have that feeling in the morning when you're like, I just need to be in that place right now at this very second.
And the idea of a commute to get there.
Yeah, but also stressful. You're like, oh my God, I can't fold time and space yet. So that would be good.
If you could see into the future, what would you want to see?
Probably how long I'm going to live. That would be nice. You could sort of spread your life out.
I think having a hologram way to communicate would be pretty good. We've got a sister that's over in Perth.
A product like Google Glass, so wearable technology.
And what would you use it for day to day?
Just smoothing out life a little bit. Being able to integrate technology into life makes daily habits a little bit easier, I think.
Hologram, let's see, hologram, yeah, stuff like that. I don't really know, man. I'm pretty satisfied with computers and stuff like that these days, so yeah.
Like the Jetsons, one of those fly cars or something like that, or food that drops through a cylinder or something like that would be great.
Basically living in a Jetsons house.
Yeah, definitely. Who wouldn't want to?
Teleporter.
It's a popular answer. Why teleporter?
Well, it'll make life easier. You get to and from work, to and from the pub, so on and so forth.
So here in Melbourne, the future tech that everyone wants is the ability to teleport, to move from one place to another in an instant. I'm Andrew Moon. Now it's back to Shanghai.
Technology has taken over. I mean, I was born in the 80s, so I remember what life is like before smartphones and internet. That's the past and not the future. So our question for this week's Word on the Street is, what technology of the future do you wish you have now? Let's go find out. 什么样的未来科技你希望现在就可以实现？
我希望未来的科技会实现那种虚拟网游，不光是在游戏方面，还有电影方面，带给人们一种360度全方位触感环绕的。
跟人的健康有关吧，比如说放在身体里可以检测人的身体状况那种，这样的话比体检这种都精准很多，也让我们第一时间可以掌握我们的健康状况。
我其实最希望实现的科技是全息投影吧。因为苹果刚发布了 Apple Watch， 然后应用在这个上面的话，可以取代手机、电脑等等一系列这些东西。可能说一个手表可以支持一个很大的屏幕的，然后在这个屏幕上可以进行操作什么的。
最近看的科幻片比较多，如果说是未来科技的话，当然是希望就是我们可以自由的在天上飞了，也不需要坐飞机了，想到哪到哪。
时空传送之类的，比如自己干了什么错事儿，就想回到之前干那个错事儿前去弥补一下。可以到未来去看一下未来的自己到底是什么样一个样子。
因为地球上人口已经爆棚，可以有更好的飞船移居到其他星球，而且快速的飞行。
像哈利波特那种可以瞬间转移的那种，因为现在交通的话虽然很发达，但是经常会有堵车呀、晚点啊这样的事情出现，所以我还是希望能够让自己瞬间到别的地方。
So it looks like when it comes to future technology, everyone has their own ideas. For me, I would like to get my hands on a device that can turn pollution from something harmful into something useful. You gotta use those resources. This is Christine for Shanghai Word on the Street.
So it seems like teleportation and flying cars are the key answers from our international cosmo cities.
Yeah, think of all time, the money and gas we can save if we can teleport.
Well, I mean, how do you know?
What do you mean?
Well, maybe teleportation takes more gas and costs more money.
Well, I was thinking something simple like a button or just our mind. What were you thinking?
Well, I mean, clearly Star Trek, right? Like, the next generation, of course.
Or if you're thinking that teleport device, yeah, it might cost a fortune. Want to find out more about today's episode?
Well, don't move a muscle, because when we come back,
we will check out the sensory stories of virtual reality in New York City.
And then it's off to LA for some more virtual reality and smart mugs.
Cosmo time. Cosmo time.
Welcome back.
You know what I was thinking?
Should I be worried?
How we think affects how and what we create. Think about that for a minute, Menzi.
I am thinking. You might want to give us an example.
Okay, take cars for instance. Like if we had known sooner, perhaps we would have made more environmentally friendly cars to begin with.
I see your point. As they say, better late than never.
Should we go check out the New York City search?
Technology has evolved throughout the years, and now it's telling a different story. I'm here at the Museum of the Moving Image to find out what exactly that story is.
Blew my mind. It was such an immersive experience. Nothing like it. I'm still blown.
It's a really good exhibit. I like it a lot.
There's a lot of eclectic things of new technology that you have a chance to experience on your own at your own pace.
Stories have been told for thousands of years. Experiencing a story using technology that incorporates sight, smell, sound, and touch is a new way of doing it. That's the idea behind Sensory Stories, the latest exhibition at the Museum of the Moving Image. I'm meeting with the curator and some of the artists to learn more about this one-of-a-kind story time.
These new sensory technologies are actually kind of freeing us now and enabling us to experience stories in ways that are natural, that play to all of our senses, and that because of that are more powerful and exciting and memorable.
Not all stories start or end the same way, and the same goes for the technology that conveys them. The exhibition features virtual reality experiences, interactive films, participatory installations, speculative interfaces, and more. First, we check out Birdly, a fully immersive virtual reality bird flight simulator.
Usually, when we do stuff like that, virtual reality, then you always think about the visuals. And we want to go further. We want to build in all the senses, like the motor sensory coupling, like the smell, or like the movement and the feeling on the skin. Through our research, we found out the closest feeling which we know how to fly is actually when you're sleeping and when you dream of flying in your sleep. We try to get this kind of dreams to an experience.
All right, awesome, great.
Here we have entitled on Google Cube. Now what it is there's 6 different plots going on each side. And the way that you tilt the cube, you can decide which way the plot goes and find out how they intersect. It's kind of like being a director in the palm of your hand. Imitation, they say, is the biggest form of flattery, and I guess that rings true in technology as well. We have mimicry right here, which if you look at it, it mimics what you do, what the onlooker is doing. So I'm gonna see, I guess I'm rolling my eyeballs right now. Look, I'm smiling, and look, the baby's smiling too. Next, we explore how hidden technology can tell a story with household objects in Parade.
We wanted to make a magic trick, so make an installation where the technology is hidden and where people can just be like amazed by this thing that they see that seems familiar but is not actually familiar. There's this light that you can swing, and when you swing it, you see a shadow projected of these vases behind you, but it's not exactly what it seems, and eventually the shadows come to life and a scene plays out.
While art and storytelling are at play, the real work is going on behind the scenes. The shadows are a video created in real time to mirror the lamp's movements, all of which are detected by a kinetic sensor.
It's a new way of telling stories. It's an interesting way to keep the audience captivated, and you can really use technology to have people feel the way you want them to feel, so to direct their feelings, to direct their emotions while the story develops.
You can tell a story or you can smell a story. Now this is using a technology called the O-phone, and at certain points in the story, the smells are activated. So right now I'm reading and it says, tap to smell apricot. So here we go. Now it's preparing. Oh wow, and that does smell like apricot, and it tells you right here which part of the O-phone to smell out of. This is the future of technology. I am loving it. I love to use this.
I want people who come to the exhibit to take away 2 things. One, an excitement about the possibilities that these new technologies hold. And 2, I want them to leave feeling the joy of being alive.
The technology can enable new types of art to be created. And then the technology is really just a tool. Like the art is the expression, it's the message, and then you have more tools available to you to transmit your message and to transmit it in different ways.
As we've seen here at Sensory Stories, a narrative experience is brought to life by technology, senses, and being here in New York City. Reporting from New York, I'm Christy Clemens.
You know if you check this out.
Yes.
Now I'm over here. Amazing.
So, Can you stay still in one place?
I have invented teleportation. I am a virtual space pirate.
Why do I even bother? Oh, good for you, so it's amazing.
I'm amazing at everything.
Shall we go to this week's LA City Search?
Menzie! Oh my, this is magic or science or something. Oh my.
It's called TV magic.
Wow, the 2015 TAFF Expo is here in Long Beach, California. TAFF stands for Technology, Art, Fashion, and Food, which is focused on highlighting the impact of technology and art in today's society.
TAFF Expo is bringing creative people into one space and one space and time. And my idea behind TAFF is to create a platform for creative people that are in the technology sector, art, fashion, and food. Technology here, we have 3D printing, we have virtual reality, Oculus Rift, augmented reality. Long Beach is becoming a epicenter of technology in Los Angeles County. So I am a part of Long Beach tech community, and my love and passion for Long Beach goes deep. And my goal is to represent the technology sector and bring everybody that I know together to make something great.
Virtual reality is a mental experience which allows you to be present within a different environment or kind of like a different dimension. So you can basically be taken anywhere you wish through virtual reality. We can actually use our smartphones with virtual reality because it's really complicated, so it's still in development, so we are trying to facilitate your experience for it. Basically, almost everybody has a smartphone now, so it is much easier for the people to just take out their smartphones and just connect it with the computer or something and just put these Oculus Rift on and just go into whatever they want directly.
A lot of times people experience technology via YouTube or social media, so I want people to come to a place where they can actually get a hands-on experience with the technology instead of just waiting for it to come out in the stores, so to give it the really cutting edge or bleeding edge experience.
It's kind of a smart mug, and what it does is when you're drinking, say you're drinking at a bar, and you have your drink filled up, you start drinking, and when you're almost done to the bottom, it'll actually change to a different color. But it does it automatically. So when you're drinking, it just switches to a different color. So the bartender or the waitress will know they need to either come over to your table and get you another drink.
How do those small business get into this to be a vendor, like a part of their expo?
Yeah, that's a great question. A lot of the vendors are my own personal contacts. Like I said, I'm very involved with the community. I'm also involved with We Labs, which is a creative workspace. My buddy Marcus Manley and Robbie Brown co-founded the Creative Workspace. So we have a pretty good community, and a lot of vendors also found me online through my marketing efforts and social media.
The expo includes talks on 3D printing, virtual reality, and so on and so forth, trying to make the best out of technology and art. I'm Xiaowei, reporting from Los Angeles.
Time to take that break again.
When we come back, we'll talk to the Razer CEO.
Right here in our Shanghai City Search.
Cosm time. Cosm time.
Welcome back. I guess there's more to California than just surfing.
Oh, you surf, so?
Absolutely. You know what? There's technology in surfing.
I can see that. In fact, I think there's technology in most everything we do.
You know what's cool about that is our brains are actually the coolest example of organic technology.
Yeah, so actually, that's where technology comes from, our brain.
Wait, are you serious? I just always assumed it comes from aliens.
Oh, now you're being silly.
Or am I, Mansi? Let's go to the Shanghai City Search to find out.
Wow, everybody knows I'm a fitness fanatic, but just running here, it kind of gets boring sometimes. So today I'm going to talk to Ming, and he's going to show me something really new and something really cool. Let's go check it out.
Our guest today is Min Tan, CEO and creative director of a world-leading gaming hardware company. The product he designed is already being used in the US Department of Defense and the control room in Shenzhou 7.
How's it going?
How's it going? Pretty good.
Thanks for meeting me today.
No problem, man.
So Ming, so how's the Naboo going to be different in this like really big wearables market? How's it going to differentiate itself?
Sure. Well, you know, they're basically smartwatches and fitness bands. Okay. Smartwatches, they do notifications really well, but they're kind of big and bulky and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Fitness bands, on the other hand, are pretty good, but they tend to do one thing and one thing well, which is fitness. Now, the Naboo does everything a smartwatch does, which is send all the notifications to your wrist, and it does everything a fitness band does, which is all the fitness stuff. Now, that's just two things. The third thing that the Naboo really sets itself apart from the rest of the crowd is it's got social functions. So if you've got a Naboo and I've got a Naboo, we do a high five, boom. We could be exchanging WeChat contacts and all that kind of stuff. Social functions, that's pretty much what sets the Naboo out from everything else out there.
So the Naboo is kind of like the Tinder on your wrist, right?
A little bit like that. Yeah, that's right.
That's kind of cool. So that's more like, what about the gaming aspect? I heard like it's going to be, because you guys are like mostly a gaming company.
Pretty much. Well, we've done a couple of great partnerships. The first of which is with Timmy Run Everyday, which is also called Tinian Kupao in China. Essentially, it's one of the most popular mobile games ever in China. Now, it's a side-scrolling running game, and what's going to happen is really fun. If I walk 10,000 steps a day, boom, inside the game, I get a distance boost. If I sleep well at night, boom, you know, the next morning when I wake up, I get an extra life. So it's pretty much kind of getting the virtual world and the real world, kind of mixing it up together, the mishmash of sorts.
Like something new to motivate you to do, actually, to get out and do some stuff.
In a fun way, in a fun way.
So I heard like the Naboo took the best of CES this year. What do you guys feel about that?
You know, this year we thought it was going to be tough because given how many wearables there were out there, you know, smartwatches, smart bands and things like that, we thought Naboo had a great chance at it, but we didn't know how popular it was going to be. In fact, it got voted in by more than half of the people who voted. Like thousands and thousands of people voted to say that the Naboo was the most anticipated wearable in the industry today. So here we are in China.
Wow. So I noticed that the screen is on the other side of your hand. Is there a reason for that?
Absolutely. So we call this the privacy screen. So as I, like if somebody has a watch, you can kind of take a peek and see what messages he's.
Phones in anything like that.
That's a thing. So while I'm having a conversation with you, I could be getting all kinds of messages on my wrist and you can't see it. Yeah. This is the privacy screen. So that's how we've actually designed it, where it's a little bit about how people use products and stuff like that in the real world.
Min's introduction is fairly comprehensive, but what do some of the other professionals think about it? Let's talk to Shadow Zhang, Senior Critic of High-Tech Products.
What's up, Shadow? Hello. So I know this thing tracks my fitness, but like, what about the messages and stuff? I don't get it. Can you show me?
哦，这里显示的是未接来电，这里是显示时间，这里是您显示的未接的微信消息。有信息来时，手环会震动提醒您，在屏幕上面会显示信息的内容。当然，您如果觉得这个信息对您不是太重要的话，你可以选择忽略它。
Oh. So you personally, what do you think the Naboo compares to like other wearables on the market? How does it compare?
我认为在现在市面上同价位的产品中，Naboo天神是非常具有优势，而且功能非常完整的一款产品。因为其他可能会在防水，或许会在显示屏的设计上面没有这么强大。当然，如果Naboo天神能够在它的重量上面更加减少一些的话，我觉得这款产品就更加的完美了。
As for gameaholics, the mouse is the key to playing any video game. But what's made Min's mouse really stand out?
And essentially, this is kind of designed to fit your hand instead of most of the mice, which are, your hand has to fit the mouse, so to speak. So essentially, you can make it longer, you can make it shorter, you can make it wider, you can change the side panels, you can pretty much do everything. Yeah. So this is one of the most precise sensors in the world. You're talking about gamers where, a split second makes a huge difference. Now, have you seen a real angry gamer? You don't want to see that.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's right.
Their new keyboard design also has some very cool implications for gaming. It uses a specially designed mechanical switch which enables game functioning, with only 50 G's of actuation force and a 60 million keystroke lifespan.
So for all you gamers out there today, you saw some high-tech options to have fun, but there's some options to get fit as well. And for me, that's the most important thing. And it's time for me to get fit now.
Well, it looks like it's about that time again.
So don't you worry,
because when we come back, it's time for some creative source.
Bringing you the latest in entertainment news.
Welcome back.
Wow, it seems like more and more we're being connected to technology.
It is not something we can escape from.
And it's all about creativity and finding the right balance between human nature, science, and technology.
Sounds like it is time for Creative Source.
Can't we ever forget that day in 12 Oaks?
Do you think I could ever forget it? Have you forgotten it? Can you honestly say you don't love me? Sleep.
A lot of films look to popular novels and books for their stories. In fact, it's been a pretty common trend since film first began.
I never wanted any of this. I never wanted to be in the games. I just wanted to save my sister.
But this year marks an all-time peak, with 25 films in cinemas all remade from popular local and international books.
我们知道，就是这个电影的最根本其实是剧本。那么剧本实际上是讲一个故事，所以我相信就是好的小说，如果条件成熟的话，被翻拍成电影，它其实也是成为一个好的电影的一个很基本的先决条件。
We turn to film critic Tang Jing-shu to see why the industry is increasingly turning to books for their scripts. From Guojing Ming's huge series Tiny Times to Zhao Wei's box office blowout So Young. Or this year's Oscar hit Still Alice. Films have taken much from the literary world.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that.
But in order to successfully turn a book into a film, it's important to consider 3 fundamental things.
首先是名作家，那如果是知名的作家的作品，那么他可能会比较容易被关注。
저 장도 공기는 거 좀.
졸려.
주둥이만 살아가지고.
나한테 주둥이만
像《三关卖血记》，那它是余华的作品。在描写人性上是非常有独到之处的一个非常知名的作家。那我相信他的作品应该只要是具备翻拍的可能性的话，我觉得他的作品是很容易会被影视界的就是导演们拿去翻拍的。
언제 저한테 시집 오실 거예요?
第二是这个作品本身，它可能情节性，或者说它在被还原成视觉影像的可能性上，它可能会有很多的空间。比如说张艺谋导演的《归来》。其实他是翻拍了严歌苓的小说，但是呢，张艺谋导演只是把他最后的结尾的32页改成了《归来》。 段的故事里面的一个核，他把那个核的因素抽出来之后，加以2度的创作，然后成为一部很精彩的电影。
请你出去。
你怎么了？
还有就是它可能是续集，比如说它是不止一本，它是一个系列小说，它也比较容易被翻拍。最知名的就是《哈利波特》。它也是一本接着一本，那么它的电影也是伴随着小说，在小说的这个基础上有了新的创作。然后让这个《哈利波特》系列成为可能全世界最知名的小说翻拍成电影的经典案例。
你还有什么话要对方回说吗？
Going from book to film seems like a shortcut to success, in part due to 2 factors. Firstly, a good book guarantees a strong fan base and a lot of public attention. Secondly, a best-selling novel can be an attractive prospect for directors and actors who have faith in the story. It's also easier than working from scratch with an original script. But it takes a lot more than just a few good actors following a storyline.
国外有一部小说改编的电影，我也非常喜欢啊。最近，叫《微妙》，是奥黛丽·塔图演的一部法国片。它也是一个很知名的法国小说，然后改编的电影。那个导演本身就是作家，就是他是原著的作者，他又当导演，把这个自己的小说翻拍成电影，也很成功，非常好。他可能在文字的时候，他是有强烈的情绪化的描述，而且他对于一个女性的内心心理的世界的描写是非常细致独到的。那么他被改编成电影之后，他其实在画面感上做了非常多的处理。他对于影像的影调方面的这些服装啊、摄影啊这些技术化，他都是做了非常多的考量。所以我觉得可能判断一部电影最终根本性它好不好，票房是一个方面，另外一个方面还是看它的艺术品质，还有就是它故事到底讲得怎么样，它有没有打动人心的地方。
好看吗？
There are certainly a few good remakes on the way that we should definitely check out.
我比较期待冯唐的《万物生长》。
他就是成全老子。
我不知道他用冯唐的那种那么活色生香的文字啊，被改编成电影，它的还原度有多少，以及它到底在市场上面的反响会怎样，我挺好奇的。
晚上我玻璃是不是你拆的？走啊，跑啊！不需要回答。
It's easy to see why these remakes draw so much attention. Fans of the book are eager to see their favorite characters come to life on the big screen, hoping to see their imagination become a reality. And already proven a success at the box office, don't expect the trend to slow down anytime soon, as we're sure to be seeing more of our favorite books turned into movies soon enough.
为了我们的青春，傻逼，安静点，就要去。
With its iconic dragonfly pattern, menswear brand 3 Society recently held their runway show at Shanghai Fashion Week. Their new autumn-winter collection features shaped leather coats with weavings and accessories like watches and custom shoes.
我们这一季的话，在面料上面其实做了一个非常有趣的做法。我们把一个羊毛的面料跟一个皮的面料组合在一起，会用那个皮把它编织在一起。accessory 的话，主要还是这个皮的披肩跟鞋子上面小配件。
Felt on leather with modern wave patterns came out in small sizes. It was an appeal to the many women who actually prefer the brand's neutral styles.
So, what do you think will happen to us in the future?
Well, I mean, anything's possible. In the end, we're just a speck in the grand universe.
Fascinating, isn't it? Sometimes Sometimes we forget how insignificant we are, but yet we are always inventing or creating.
Well, what else can we do, you know? Just try to make a difference.
C'est la vie.
I guess that's the end of our show for today.
Bye, everyone.
Au revoir, à bientôt, hasta luego, Kodafis, goodbye, zaijian. You know what's kind of cool about that is that...
What kind of the technology?
Stuff about that. Stuff about technology. Honestly, thought of time. That's a hard one.
Yeah, now I'm like this, yeah? Right? I should be here.
Yeah, look at that way.
Yeah.
Ready?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I gotta go back that way.
What's my line?
So weird, so much shifting.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta go back this way too, and then space pirate.
From the top?
Yeah.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. I think I forgot my line.
There's a lot of technology and stuff. And things.
I can see that. In fact, it is not something we can. Sorry, one more time. 3, 2, 1.